If you joined me last week, I shared 4 lessons that I've been learning about how my mindset really can impact my business. And I shared with you those things that I've been thinking through and how they might impact your business. This week, we're going to take a look at how what we're learning through those lessons and how we might need to apply those into our business into 2025. And taking that a step further and asking the question, do we need to think about our business differently in the new year? I know I definitely do. Is it time to shake things up, lighten things up, take the pressure off the high expectation of results of our marketing plans, of our launches? Because a lot of times we really don't have complete control over those. And if we take even that a step further, how much clarity have you gained this year? Have you vetted it? Have you tested it? Have you examined it? Have you analyzed it? Or are you still at the point where you're taking that clarity and throwing darts at the dartboard to see what sticks? So today, let's look at the question, do you need to test your business clarity? Hello there, and welcome to the Selah Entrepreneur podcast, where we take a look at doing online business a little bit differently, especially for women over 50. The goal of each episode you listen to here is to help women just like you find clarity, the clarity needed to confidently design or redesign a business so that it aligns with your values and your purpose, and hopefully feel a lot less stress in the process. Are you ready to design a business that fits you and the current season of life you're in? Then join me in today's episode when we take a look at clarity and testing our clarity. Through the lessons I learned over the last few months about my mindset and how I'm thinking about my business, I have realized that there have been times that I have been taking what I know, and especially the clarity, I've gained even more clarity over this last year, and I'm still using some of that and throwing the darts against the dartboard to see what sticks. And I know that needs to change in the next year. Yes, I need to experiment. Yes, I need to try new things, but I would like to do it with a more methodical approach and not with a sense of desperation, but one of excitement and one of exploration. I'd like to take you on a little history tour of my journey as an entrepreneur. So I'm going to start with a bit of a story here. When I first graduated from college, all I knew is that I wanted to start a business. I was a business major and I was wanting to apply what I learned and create a business of my own. I had no idea what that business would be. I went through tons of ideas. And so my first step was into the corporate world, but I always had side jobs. I always had businesses on the side. And it became such a habit that I had a side business of some size or shape until the current business I created in 2008. One of the favorite businesses that I created was a soap and lotion business. I made soaps, I made lotion, I made fun bath and body products, and I went to a lot of outdoor and indoor markets, especially in the summer, and then a lot in the holiday season. And I met so many wonderful people. I met people at craft shows. We became friends because we would show up at the same craft show year after year. I met wonderful friends of customers who would come back and find me and look for my products and see what I had new that year. I found a community of soap and lotion makers where I live, and we would gather together once or twice a year to compare notes, to talk, and have a little mini conference. I met so many wonderful people. But actually, beyond that, what I found I loved was the formulations. Taking all the products that I made or pulling out all the new ingredients I wanted to play with and turning my kitchen into a lab. And so sometimes it was taking a recipe that I had found from a friend or found online or found in a book and got to the point where I was comfortable with how that recipe worked. And then it was time to tweak it, add a new ingredient, substitute an ingredient, because now I felt confident in how to make it and how the process worked. And now it's time to make it my own. And then as time went on, I got to the point where I was able to formulate my own products from scratch. I knew percentages. I understood how one oil performed over a different oil and how to balance a lighter oil versus a heavier oil or a butter. And probably this makes no sense to you, but I was very excited that I got to the point where I was confident enough that I could create my own recipes from scratch, bring it to the next craft fair, test it out, get responses, give it to friends and family. I would take it to the office at work because they all know I had the side business, get their feedback, go home, tweak it, adjust it, and take it back until I had a product that I was very confident in would do well at the next craft show or trade show. I love that part. And as I've looked at what I want my business to be in the new year, I realized I missed that part of me. I missed that part of exploration, of taking an idea, making it my own and bring it to the marketplace and testing it and evaluating it, analyzing it, tweaking a little bit, revising it, and bringing it back. And so as I've looked at the mindsets that are impacting my business, this is something I want to bring back in as well. I want to bring a sense of exploration and excitement, of collaboration with my audience to create something truly special, something that really helps the women that I coach go through their clarity journey. And I would love to have a lot more fun in my business in the process. There's a couple things that are coming with this, because once I can get to the point where I have a business that I'm having fun, that is definitely going to show up in my marketing, in the podcast, in the relationships I build with others, in the coaching that I do. As I've looked back and analyzed how I've been doing business this year, there is a sense at times I can see a little bit of desperation or frustration, and approaching business and approaching what I want to do from that place and that mindset, that will never work. There's a lot of clarity that we can get from taking action. And I believe taking action absolutely has to happen. You get clarity, you take action on that clarity that you know, and then you get more clarity, and then you go back and you take more action, and then you get more clarity. When I've talked to the women in my mastermind group, when I talk to the women in my one-to-one coaching, so many times what happens, and I am very guilty of this, is we have an idea. We throw it out there sometimes last minute, and so we're not able to market correctly. We haven't really talked to people to validate the idea, and so we just throw it out there to see what happens. And then when the results fall way short of our dreams and expectations, we get discouraged, and we go, okay, that didn't work, so now it's time to start over. When we are in business, failures are going to happen. But failure really isn't failure. It's an opportunity to learn. And that is such a cliche thing to say, but it really and truly is. Because if you're going to take something, throw it out there, well, why didn't it work? How could you make it work? Have you talked to the people that you've offered it to? Why did they not say yes? Is there something that wasn't sitting well with them? Were you not marketing it correctly? Did you not give enough lead up to the launch day to generate enough conversation and generate enough excitement? Did you market it correctly? Did you use some tried and true marketing tactics and strategies? You don't know until you take a look back. First, you don't know until you try it. A lot of times we have so many ideas that we don't try it. We're just too scared and we don't put it out there. But right behind that, and possibly even more so, we put something out there. It does not meet our unrealistic expectations, let's be honest, and it falls short in our brains. And so we think, okay, that's not going to work. When instead, we need to take a look at what we put out there and analyze it. Take a look, what worked, what didn't feel comfortable with you, what did you hesitate on, what went really well, what got conversation started with your audience. What did you learn? What did you learn that expands your understanding and gives you more clarity about what you do and the people you love to serve and how you like to serve them? Every time you put something out there, there's an opportunity to learn more about your business, about your personality, about your audience. And you don't always have to restart and recreate the wheel every single time. What if instead you treated a launch or a marketing or a project that you're working on as an experiment? Take the pressure off of the results. So many times we put so much pressure on the results of our efforts. And a lot of times, because we're doing it from a knee-jerk reaction, we're putting our financial well-being, at least in our heads, our financial well-being on the results that we expect from this product or service or this launch. And that's a lot of weight to put on a first iteration of a product or service. So what if we took a step back and said, I'm going to experiment with this. I am going to take a look at this product or this idea. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to validate and check on the offer and see what people people's responses are, and then I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to make an effort and I'm going to do what I need to do to market it and get the word out there about that product or service. And then when that's done and it's all happened, you need to go back then and go, okay, I'm coming at this from an analytical mind and saying, okay, what worked? What didn't? What did I like about it? What was the feedback? Was it completely silent or would I have a little trickle of conversations? And take the time to really explore why or why not that didn't work. And go back and say, okay, great, that didn't work. So what can I do to make this work? What can I tweak? What can I adjust? What have I learned? What am I clearer on now that now I can apply to the next version of this, the next iteration? Because when we do this, when we put something out there new into the marketplace, there's so much information overload, and we see so many examples of quote unquote overnight successes that are unrealistic for the majority of the population. Plus, we have no idea how many times they have tried this particular product or service and they've got it to a point where it's dialed in and people are responding to it. You do not know what's sitting behind the square of that I made $1 bajillion in 2 days. You do not know if that's true, and you do not know how many hours and days and years it took to get there. You don't know what they went through to get there. You may not want the effort it took to get to where they are, and that's fine. So take the comparisonitis out of the picture and realize that the first time out, it's probably not going to work that well. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have possibility. It doesn't mean that you don't take it forward and move forward. It means that you need to go back and look at it and get more clarity from your efforts. Test what you know. Test what you figured out in your business. Test the problem that you solve. Test the people that you want to serve, and make sure you're testing yourself and understanding how you want to show up for your clients. And when you can look at a product or service that you're launching and understand it's okay to be a beginner, it's okay that it didn't sell hundreds and thousands the first time out. And if you can just say, you know what, this is an experiment, all of a sudden the whole thing feels lighter. It feels like there's a lot less stress and expectation built up on it. Now, do you need to take appropriate risks? Absolutely. You need to be smart about it. You need to think through it carefully. You need to seek wise counsel. And if you are a person of faith, you pray over it and you ask the Lord for direction and instructions and wisdom on this product or service. But it doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel every time because it didn't work. It means you go back and you analyze and you learn from it and you grow from it and make it and improve it for the next time. And then also we need to take a look at this idea of exploration and testing ideas at many different levels of our business. This may not be that you need to apply it directly to a huge launch or a huge new product or service. Maybe you need to get in the habit of testing subject lines. Or if your open rates on your emails aren't what you would like them to be, maybe it's time to start testing subject lines to find out what are the words that your audience responds to. That's a very low risk experiment to run in your business. What about your social media strategy? Is your audience on Instagram? Do you need to start trying Threads? Is it time to go back over to Facebook? These are things that we need to ask rather than continue to throw those darts at the dartboard and see what sticks. So take a look at your business. Where have you gained clarity lately? Where do you need a bit more clarity? And how can you approach that from a sense of exploration, of experimentation, of saying, I am going to try this and I'm not going to expect ginormous, huge growth moments. I am going to take this for what it is and say, this is an experiment. And then have a few questions that you know that you're going to ask after the experiment is over. What did you learn from it? What got confirmed about your clarity journey? What maybe enlightened you? What made you understand and get more clarity on this experiment about your business? So the question, do you need to test your business clarity? I think you do. I think you need to go out there and take action because it's only through taking action on what you know that you're going to get more clarity. It's only by taking action and running an experiment or trying something new and carefully and methodically evaluating the results that you're going to find ways to grow, to meet your audience where they are at, have a lot more fun showing up for them and serving them as only you can. So I would encourage you to pick something in the next couple weeks. But this is an incredible time of year to try something big or small. You could go all in. You could start something small with a testing out subject lines. Look at something that for you says, you know what, that excites me. I want to try it. And I don't want you to put so much energy and desperate energy into expecting certain results. Go in it with an open mind, with a mind of exploration and excitement and going, I'm excited to learn more. I'm excited to get more clarity. I'm excited to get out there and test what I know and see what can be confirmed and maybe what areas I know I can see I need to adjust or what I can learn from this experiment. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever run a business experiment? Have you tested your business clarity, taken action on it and learned from it and documented what you learned? Have you gone out there and iterated? Have you thrown out a new product or service and then come back and analyze the results? And did you learn from it, grow from it, tweak the product or service, and then relaunch it and reoffer it again? Or are you the type of person who likes to go out there, it doesn't work, you start over and reinvent the wheel? I am definitely guilty of that one over the years. And then 2025, I need to get back to iterating, experimenting, and growing. And that's what I'm inviting you to join me with as well. This podcast is meant to encourage you in your business and in your entrepreneurial journey, and definitely in your experiments in your business as you test different ideas and you test your business clarity. If you have found this episode helpful, or if you've received an aha moment or a challenge that you can't say no to today, would you take a couple seconds to scroll down in your podcast player and click on the button, leave a review, and rate the podcast, hopefully 5 stars, right? Your review means the world to me, and it helps get this podcast in front of other women who could use the same encouragement you've received today. Thank you for joining me today. Let's keep moving forward in creating a business simply and sustainably so that you can steward your gifts, your calling, and your business well.